Hello and welcome, Lynx here. We are playing Void of Desire, which I believe is the last episode today. Let's see where our demonic romance goes. I open my eyes. As the sunlight became unbearable for my sleep, I yawned loudly and stretched out on the covers before standing up. I had so much trouble getting up today. I looked around, but Lilith wasn't with me. I went to the kitchen to prepare something. Everything was completely silent on day 7. And that, oddly enough, made me feel a strange sense of loneliness. Did I miss her company? Was my first thoughts in the morning going to be dedicated to her? I sighed. I looked back. I thought about the things that happened and all the trials in which I've been unintentionally involved. When precisely I came to this place to rest. I ate something light and sat on the sofa. Today is my last day. Before tonight I must leave to return to my normal life. And Lilith is right, I must take responsibility for my promises and words. So I have to think about what to do with her. Although she has promised to give up the idea of blood, nothing prevents her from trying to again when I'm gone. So that only leaves me 2 options. Stay with her, or she stays with me. If I decided to bring her back to the city with me, perhaps she would feel uncomfortable in such an environment. So far from the nature. Besides, who knows if her nature, as she says, does not harm others. That brings me to the other option. Staying here with her. In a calmer environment which she knows. And less dangerous for the rest. It would be a good option, even if it was only a temporary situation. But I think the best is... Oh, the sound of someone knocking on my door interrupted me.
Hello, Kazuya? Can I come in?
Go ahead, don't worry. Rin's footsteps approached where I was.
Good morning, Kazuya.
Good morning, Rin. Sit down, sit down. She sat down next to me shyly and asked me,
If we haven't heard from you, I suppose. Everything went well, didn't it? Liv came to talk to me and told me all about herself.
Indeed. I managed to make her see reason, but... Today's my last day here, so I have to leave today. Or do I?
Oh! In that case, what are you going to do with Lilith? I would offer to watch over her, but you know that she and my sister, you know.
I know. That's why I promised her I'd stay with her.
Really? Are you aware of what that decision implies?
Probably not completely. But this decision I've made and I'm willing to go all the way.
I understand. I'm glad about that. You seem to have changed a bit since your encounter.
Why you say that?
Your look and the way you act now. You seem much more determined and firm than before. I guess you have a lot to think about and talk about. Knowing that everything is more or less under control, then I'll be leaving.
She stood up. Are you leaving already? What?
Yeah, I'll go calm Shizu down too. Though it may not seem like it, she was worried about you. Before I go, one last thing, Kazuya.
She had a slight smile on her face.
Congratulations on everything you've achieved.
Huh?
I'm very grateful. I hope we meet again another time.
Of course. I mean, we'll see each other again. You and Shizu. Technically, we have not met Shizu at all, now that I think about it. She completed her smile and quietly left. For my part, I asked myself again what my decision would be in this regard, since time was running against me.
Come.
That voice. Is that you?
Come. Follow my voice.
I got up and looked for where she was calling me from. Where are you, Lilith? I looked and couldn't find her anywhere.
Head to where we first met.
You mean... I put on my boots and fixed my hair. Then I went to the big tree. That was a photo we haven't seen before. The one earlier. Like the transition one, sort of. When I arrived, Lilith was under the branches waiting for me.
Good morning, little one.
Lilith.
What's going on? It seems like the first time you see me.
It's not that. It just... I was thinking about what you said yesterday and...
Oh, have you made up your mind about it yet?
No.
So...
I think that before that I should ask you what you yourself want more.
What I want?
I shouldn't make such an important decision without first asking you what you want to do. Right? Don't you think that? She began to laugh in her characteristic voice.
Just when I thought I knew everything about you, you go and surprise me yet again.
I mean, he's correct, though.
Okay. I'll tell you what I want, but I propose something to you.
I hear you.
I know you're debating whether to stay here with me or on the contrary that I go with you. Right? You can show me that you have enough will to choose both your destiny and mine. Or if you don't think you can leave it in my hands. But you must accept and obey what I decide, whatever it is. Whether you like it or not. Come on, tell me. Let's play.
I clenched my fist as I considered all the possibilities and outcomes of my next words. I don't think letting her decide would be a good decision here. Also, remote work for the win, so I'll stay here with you. I decide to stay here with you.
Will you stay here? In the forest?
Exactly.
But then you'll lose your job, friends, and...
That doesn't matter. I won't stay here. Next to you. In this place you are calm and relaxed, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, it seems that the decision had already been made. I would stay here in the cabins together with Lilith. I knew this in exchange I would have to sacrifice my job, status... What status? And contacts. What contacts? I knew many would call me crazy for doing it.
Yeah.
But I was calm. After that I went back to pack my things and take them to the cabins. I got my savings and documentation. Obviously I wasn't going to do it all without thinking. I had a plan. When I got back I'd find a job nearby so I could at least support myself, but not too many luxuries. I didn't need them either when I thought about it. She was already there to fill that void. As she always said,
She was a herald of desire.
desire and... Makes sense. Our days in this cabin, as well as our meeting, were extremely magical. Almost ephemeral. But ours. She cared for me and guided me. I controlled her instinct and first. Maybe it wasn't the best, but it certainly wasn't the worst. That was our destiny. And the result of our choices and emotions. I think that was a good ending. I mean, I guess the other way would be to go to the city together. But I don't know if she would enjoy that. I feel like she might not, actually. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? If you want to find out, get the game yourself. Because we'll not be playing other endings. That was a good ending, in my eyes at least, so yeah. But what we are going to check is blind love right now. Several days ago, I came to this place on holiday to rest and disconnect from everything. I chose this place because it was a very quiet and peaceful place to relax. Although, on the other hand, there was almost nothing to do. Day 5. Ooh. Luckily, this apartment boredom or lack of stimulation was saved thanks to a sweet and shy demi-human. Her name was Rin. I met her on my arrival and she treated me very kindly. I noticed her as was obvious. Well, she had a special aura and charm that caught my attention. Today I decided to take a little initiative and invite her to hang out together. Huh. I wonder if that would was that one of the endings? Well, so I took one last sip of my cup of tea. I put it down table and got up to head towards her house. I walked to the door. For a moment I doubted my daring, but maybe it was now or never. If I want to enjoy being here, life itself, I had to dare to make these kinds of decisions. I raised my fist and hit the aged wood of the door with some force. I mean, to be honest, that whole building looks very aged and not really taken care of.
1 second!
She said from a distance. After a few seconds, she opened.
Are you Kazuya?
Hi, Rin. Yes, it's me.
Oh, Kazuya! Good morning!
A sweet, shy smile graced her face as a form of courtesy.
What brings you here?
Well, you see... I coughed uncomfortably after saying those wrong words. I was wondering if you'd like to come for a walk with me since it's such a great day.
Oh, a walk you say?
She muttered weakly while thinking.
That's fine. Yes. I like the idea. Give me a second to tell my sister.
Sure, no problem. Rin turned and melted in the hallway of her house. I patiently waited for, for her arrival to be able to go for a walk. I wasn't completely nervous, but I was kind of... impatient? Obviously, Rin was demi-human, who had her eyes sewn up with thread. Apparently, more parts of her body were in the same position. Some in better condition than others. I suppose that nuance was not to everyone's liking. But in this case, I didn't care at all.
Kazuya, I'm ready. Shall we go?
Of course, let's go. We both headed for the dusty dirt road and followed the path. The sun, together with a pleasant breeze, accompanied us in the environment. We kept certain distance and silence. I had to break that and do something. With my heart racing, I had the courage to reach out and take her hand. Whoa, that's bold. It didn't seem to bother her, so I quickly thought of something to talk about. Tell me, Rin, what do you do on a daily basis? Do you work nearby or...?
Me? I just take care of Shizu, my sister.
And how can you eat and pay bills?
Oh, not all creatures have the same functioning as humans.
What? Oh, I understand, I understand. Wait, you don't have to... Wow, that's actually so convenient if you think about it. My attempt didn't seem to go too well. The silence continued in the environment until she broke it.
And what about you, Kazuya?
Me?
Yes. What did you do before coming here?
I was just a simple office worker, you know. It's not an entirely interesting job to tell. I was quite busy and exhausted. I decided to come to this place in my holiday week.
Oh. So when those days are over, you will go back to your home, right?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Rin then seemed to put a sad grimace on her face. Are you okay?
Yeah. It's just... the thought that you're going to leave makes me a little sad. You haven't been with me for a long time, but I'm used to chatting with you.
But, you know, you don't have to worry. We'll meet again, I'm sure.
And if it's not that way?
Then... I ducked my head trying to give a negative answer to her concern.
In fact, I think we have such a connection together that I would like to trust you more. That is why I would like to tell you something.
Hey? Sure, go ahead. We kept walking while all of the nature followed us. Like a bell of unreality, it seemed that at that moment only she and I existed.
I'm not completely blind. As you can see, I am made up of parts of other bodies that lost their lives long ago. She's helped me, and to this day she continues to take care of my body. For me, reality is very different from yours. I know that many times I can seem elusive or cold with emotions, but I wasn't like that before. Rather, I'm more tense than usual with you.
Why?
The reason is simple, Kazuya. You make my world shake.
She squeezed my hand tightly.
We don't really know each other yet. We still have 1,000 conversations to have and traits to discover. But part of me has a special sensitivity and intuition. And all of the people I've met, no one has sparked such an interest and enthusiasm in me as you.
Okay. Ren. She also lowered her head in shyness.
That's why I apologize to you. In case my attitude wasn't the best. It's hard for me to avoid it when despite not having vision, I can feel the colors of the world around me thanks to you. That despite not being able to catch a glimpse of a sunset, you make me dream of it tomorrow, if that means being able to spend a little more time with you.
I kept silent as my heart raced. No one had ever said such things to me before, and not to fool myself, I also felt the same way.
Kazuya?
Yes?
I know I'm being very bold, but I would like you to accompany me to a place tomorrow.
Where would you like to go?
It will be a secret because I'd be embarrassed to say it while you're looking at me.
Okay, tomorrow we'll go wherever you want.
Thank you, Kazuya. Thank you for listening to me and for being with me. Your company. I begin to feel that it is becoming a necessity for me, like honey for a bee.
She let go of my hand and walked away.
I have to go back to Shizu. Do you mind if we end our walk here?
Of course not at all.
Do you know where that big tree is near the cabins?
I know it very well.
Wait for me there in the afternoon, okay?
Sure. I was jumping for joy inside of me.
So...
She approached and caressed my face and then gave me an unsuspected kiss on the cheek.
Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. See you later, Kazuya.
See you tomorrow, Rin. I'll be counting down the hours and minutes until then. What? She smiled shyly and left. I continued on the bath a little longer before returning home. I couldn't quite believe that Rin would say something like that to me. That she really liked me. A big smile lit up my face. I waited almost without being able to sleep that night until the day came. I was very nervous, since her statement of feelings, so I went before she had to wait for me. I leaned my back against the big trunk and enjoyed that certain calm before she arrived. Why would she have dated me precisely on this side? Is it her favorite place? Or is she planning to do something else?
Kazuya!
Rin!
Listen to me.
Where are you?
Cold, thin hands covered my eyes.
What's going on? Why are you covering my eyes?
I don't want you to look at me yet. There's something you need to know first. Do you remember yesterday when I told you that I was not completely blind?
Yeah?
Well, I talked to Shizu about how I felt. And her words were that I simply should let go of the emotions that were blooming in me. So I made a decision. My eyes.
Rin let me see her, and I could clearly see a big change. Now, she had large, delicate blue and green eyes that now looked at me with a shy sweetness.
I said I want to see the world with my own eyes. Being able to see everything that lies ahead, thanks to the vision that you yourself have given me without knowing it.
Rin, you are...
I'm ugly.
Absolutely not. You are precious. She smiled slightly and took my hand.
This isn't the only thing I want to show you, Kazuya. Would you come with me somewhere else?
No need to ask. Let's go. We did not take more than a couple of minutes walking until we reached what seemed like an abandoned cabin.
There aren't many people or demi-humans around. But in this cabin I'm sure no one would ever bother us.
Hey, why have you brought me here?
I want to ask you something.
She stroked her hair in a nervous reaction.
I want to ask if you would stay with me. I don't mean just friendship. I mean...
She looked at me with a lot of anguish in her eyes.
If you would abandon everything to stay by my side?
Give up everything. You mean...
For you to leave the city, your things, and start over with me here.
I was very happy for her words, but... Thinking about something like that so abruptly seemed too soon. Her face changed to a more insecure one as she waited for my answer. Doing something like that overnight would be crazy. I'm not a teenager anymore to do that kind of thing without serious consequences. But, what if it was my only chance to be with a woman like Rin? Yeah... I think... I shouldn't waste such an opportunity. I'll stay with you, of course I will. You have given me a new meaning to my life since I met you this week. I may or may not be wrong, I may or may not be crazy, but I decided to bet on you because you make me feel the same, Rin.
Kazuya!
She hugged me tightly.
Are you serious? Will you stay?
I will. She cupped my cheeks and gave me a slow kiss.
Thank you! Thank you, Kazuya!
She told me in the sweetest tone I had ever heard.
I know that from this on, we are both going to be very, very happy.
All that time, Rin and I became a couple. I went back to the city to pick up some things and came back. Rin suggested we can fix up the abandoned cabin she took me to and start a new life there. Which we did, since at least everything went well at first. But who knows what fate would have in store for us, because For now, we are victims of the ecstasy of desire. Oh, gotcha. So that thing unlocked with the desire ending. Okay. What's in the epilogue? Let's find out. Surprisingly enough, it will all be in one episode, yes. We have not met her before.
Don't be so slow, Rin. Today we'll go to the big city and we'll be late. I know! It took me longer than I expected to clean my wounds. I'm sorry. Okay. But we must hurry. My sister Miroku.
Miroku, you say? What? What?
Is not someone with much patience.
In the end, seems like all those gays might be connected, you know?
Yeah, let's move on. I'm fine.
Shizu and Rin left the forest. Deadly silence fell over the place. The sound of the footsteps walking away faded into nothingness. But from the undergrowth, something was moving. Something sheltered in the dark. There, where prying eyes never rest their vision or heart. And the one carrying such pain seemed to be an innocent girl. Wait, what the heck? That's Coco. Tears streamed down her porcelain face, almost as if nature itself were saddened by seeing such a pure face. The poor, disoriented girl was hidden from the reach of the world. But hunger interrupted her wailing.
Mom! Where are you? Why did you leave me here?
She whispered in a tone lower than the flapping of a bee's wings. As she was submerged in her darkness, a ray of sunlight illuminated her face. Almost like a call to courage and adventure to leave that place. The warmth of the Star King invited her to give life a chance. Wait a second. Did she like not have the whole body in the past, or is it just made to look like it, I wonder? To leave the shell. She answered sheepishly, resting her long, thin, spidery hands on the outside of her shelter. She looked with insecurity and fear at her surroundings. Despite being a monster, she was afraid. Of what? That only she could know. With all confidence, she stepped out of the darkness into the forest, which was slowly becoming more shrouded in mist. The girl walked feebly, placing her feet on the deciduous leaves on the ground and totally lost. Inside, she was sorrowful that her mother was gone. She knew she was gone. She had left her behind. Although for some monsters that was common and natural. She couldn't help but feel alone and without a place in this hostile world. Tears welled up in her eyes from time to time. Her crying was silenced by herself. She didn't want to be a bother to anyone else. But in turn, she didn't want to disappear. She felt that her existence had become a mistake, and therefore she too was going to disappear. With nowhere to go. With no one to help her. But after a long walk, she stopped dead. She wasn't alone. The wind brought with it the sound of another wail similar to her own. There was someone else somewhere. Lost. She looked for who it was with both curiosity and fear until she found it. It was a boy. He seemed lost. She saw herself reflected in that boy.
I'm sure he's like me,
she thought. She hesitated whether she should approach him or not, so she watched him in silence for a few minutes. She followed him until she decided to appear before him.
I'll put him to the test.
If he runs away from
my appearance, then I don't deserve any more chances. But if he doesn't escape, then this boy will be the one destined for me.
Ooh, She came out of hiding, trying to avoid scaring him like a predator would its prey. The boy's reaction was something she never imagined or expected. That boy, from his tender innocence, smiled. That smile spread to the girl.
Are you lost too?
He asked her. She lowered her head in an act of shyness, and as she looked at her tired feet, she replied,
That's right.
The boy wiped away his tears, took her hands, and said, Don't cry. We'll find our way home.
Aren't you afraid of me? Aren't you afraid of my face and hands? I'm a monster, and you?
The confused boy simply replied, Monster? Why do you say you're a monster? I only see a girl who shouldn't cry anymore. He held her hand tight and she was silent as he led her through the woods. But that furtive meeting ended when, upon reaching the nearest town, everyone was stunned to see that he did not return alone. The adults quickly separated their hands and wiped the smile from their faces.
What's your name?
She yelled as she was pushed into the thicket of the forest. Seichi! He yelled at her as they pulled him away from her.
Seichi,
she whispered non-stop as she melted in the mist and undergrowth.
He's different.
She walked while looking for food and rest, but she never left the place. She decided to wait. Wait until the day Seichi and Coco could get back together. But that's a story that you can find on YouTube, actually, because we did play Coco and its sequel. You can also find both games on each that here, just like Void of Desire, which is linked in the description. That's correct. Whew. What's also in the description is Twitch, Twitter, Instagram if you're into that stuff. So you can also like the video and subscribe. That's always appreciated. Man, that was a good story, as usual, to be honest. Eroraen never disappoints. Okay, short story but super good looking and good. Good for a read, that's for sure. Okay, let's see. Alright, it will not be actually in the browser. Memory, Void of Desire. Whew. Okay. A visual novel with good and bad endings, +5. I mean, I assume what we got was a good ending, right? I mean, Desire ending would be a good ending, right? Right? I hope so. I assume it was, to be honest. I would say it was. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, they ended up together in that forest and so on, living hopefully a nice life and so on. To be fair, the way I went through it, we have not met Shizu in that story, so I guess if you want to do that, again, go get the game yourself. And yes, check out the other endings, definitely. While you're at it, you can also check out other games from Eroraen. Absolute bangers, all of them. It's funny how I slept long, but I feel tired. Anywho, I think, I do think that our main girl, so basically Lilith, was my favorite for. Yeah, without a doubt. You know, now that I think about it, in situation of our MC, I very much doubt I would be like, oh, some voice is telling me to offer the blood. I would so not do that in real life. that literally sounds like a call for something very crazy and bad to happen to you. That's why I wouldn't do it myself, I guess. Anyway, I don't really have any like super wise words of summary for the game. It was super enjoyable, okay? And I think everyone should check it out. Let's end it on that note, basically. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a wonderful day. And hopefully, the third hope, I'll see you tomorrow in the next game. Bye bye.